Welcome everyone to another Pixelated review. I'm your host, Pixelated Jordan. So we have a trilogy for us today. It is called The Contenders by Taran Matharu. Sorry, I'm really bad at that. I will get your name right eventually. Point is, this is a trilogy. It takes place on a different world and a bunch of contenders and stuff like that. I know I'm not explaining it very well, but that just go with it, alright? It makes sense later. Point is, I found this cover really fascinating, and I was all like, you know what? This looks cool. This looks like something I would enjoy. It's got like two moons, it looks like, at the distance, a red background. I was like, man, this guy looks like he means business. So, why would I not pick it up, right? I mean, when you see a cool cover like that, you know, you gotta go like, this is gonna be good. So, yeah, this will be a pretty simple one thus far. So, you know, 3 books, pretty simple, not bad, not like expansive like you know what we've done before, but nice, simple 3. Alrighty then. So, without further ado, let's get on with the review. Book 1, The Chosen. So we are thrown into this world of giant monsters and apes and, well, not apes, ape monster-like things, but point is, we're thrown in this world of expansive nothingness. And okay, well, that's a lie too. There's a lot of things going on in this world, and we're just thrust into it pretty much right away, which is kind of a good way to get your audience going. Then we get a flashback about our main character who got he was kind of in detention basically, and a couple of his friends from that detention place ended up teleporting to this place, which is a weird place. And they do travel along, meet new faces and all that good stuff, and they try to discover this world. There's this thing that follows them around, this little machine. It kind of tells them what they can and can't do, but kind of doesn't at the same time. It's very finicky. But there is a reason for it once we get to the end of the book. So overall, I gotta admit this, I don't like using this phrase, but it's kind of what explains to me at least, what I felt like through this book. It was just very mid. And I don't mean that like, you know, like it's bad. How dare it be so bad? It just was just middle of the road. Like, nothing exciting. Well, there was the exciting. The climax was absolutely amazing. But when it comes to the overall journeys, things just didn't excite me. Sometimes it felt too boring, or we didn't get enough excitement for these characters to build upon each other. I don't know. Like, it just wasn't as much as I wanted the story to be, so it can be good. Or at least better than mid, I guess you could say. So it really just down the road in the middle of everything. It just didn't do much for me to make it go, oh, I like this book. It was like, okay, it's fine. And then when we are revealed at the end that they are contenders and they are fighting literally for humanity at this point, if they're on the bottom of the barrel. And if they die, humanity's gone forever. Alright, pretty high stakes, right? And, yeah, they win at the end. They lost a lot of kids, actually, because they're all kids in this book. But a lot of them died. Pretty brutally, too. And it was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. So, like I said, climax? Oh, yeah. I recommend the climax. It's really good. Beyond that, though, it just kind of bored me here and there. And that was the sad part about it. Because there is good ideas, but it did not give me enough to care for the world until we got to that point to understand what's going on. Some books can sell that, you know, go, oh, what's the mystery of this world? Sadly, I wasn't too intrigued, and that kind of sucks, you know, because I would like to be a little bit more intrigued so I could care more about the world. But I really don't. So, overall, I have to give The Chosen a rating of meh. Book 2, The Challenger. At this point, I think I understand why I don't like this series as much as I could like the series. It's really a history nuts fantasy. So if you're a history nut, you're gonna get a kick out of this. But it basically, yeah, they use a bunch of like this explanation about how mysterious things happen on Earth, you know, with someone disappearing or a whole battalion leaves out of nowhere. This is the reason why. They were teleported to basically Battle World, and yeah, that's where they've been. And they built a whole society on that stuff. So like, basically the Romans, a lot of Romans kind of came over here, and they did build New Rome, essentially. And it is called New Rome. And it is pretty cool because our characters are in a situation where they have to do this fight. But if they don't, obviously, you know, humanity's dead, blah, 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 the usual. The big thing, though, is that this whole thing kind of takes place out of that, because they were trying to figure out how to get more gear to be prepared, because our main character has to fight this big old giant bug monster, basically, on a 1v1 battlefield. So this kind of is a training arc of sorts for our main character, so he can get stronger and better at sword fighting. And it does help him in the end, because he's fighting in this gladiatory arena, and a friend in the first book, or I guess enemy in the first book showed up, and well, he was trying to contend against him, and well, he lost, obviously, because he's not the main character. But it did kind of end in this kind of cool way where he does actually, win in the end, like a pretty brutally fight in the climax. I do like the progression in this story, because of how, like, they're on their adventure, get captured, go to New Rome, try to fight your way out of slavery, and then go back to go fight for humanity, or else we're all gonna die. And it's pretty cool. I do like that. It's just that how much they explain more, like, the history of the world, like, before that. Like, think this was, like, in modern time, 2015, I want to say. But it just kind of was to me, because I didn't really care about the history part of things. I mean, it's cool, but I didn't care that much. And that's the only reason why it always pulled me back, because I'm like, I don't really care for the history. I just want to know the fantasy part of things. So, yeah. Other than that, though, it was a good adventure, I'm not in it for the history lessons, though. So, with that being said, I give Challenger a rating of... check it out. Book 3, The Champion. So allow me to explain. This was the most bizarre adventure, and the most action-packed, which makes it the best in the trilogy. Minus all its pseudo-history lessons it's giving us. I did like a lot of this book. Like I said, it's bizarre. There's the gods that they were fighting for, supposedly, are not gods. Really, basically advanced aliens, if you want to say that. And there was other advanced aliens. And that was kind of crazy, too. And I do like how it all kind of comes together in the end. Like, when they really just trick these guys into, like... Well, they die, and, well, yeah, it ends. But our main character and love interest stay in, basically, Battle World, and, yeah, they stay there, but they sent everyone else back. Which, hey, whatever, that's pretty cool. I did forget to mention in the first book that other people are sent from different eras of Earth and all that stuff. Some of these people are from the 80s, but they're still kids, so they just teleported there. There's a thing about them being frozen until the right moment or something like that. Kind of crazy stuff, right? But yeah, this one ended in a really kind of bittersweet ending. Earth is safe, and this thing's never going to happen again. But two of our heroes are left on the battle world out of their choice, though. So, and it's not really like a paradise there, I would argue. But hey, it's what it needed to happen, and it was more that they were more willing staying. So, and that's actually pretty cool. So, other than that, though, yeah, I could definitely say this was the most fun, weird, but action-packed adventure that I really liked about the trilogy, other than the history lessons. Other than that, though, we'll give The Champion a rating of... check it out. Overall, I think it's okay. It's not that it's okay, it's just that it doesn't excite me as other stories I've checked out before. It's not to say that it's bad, it's just saying that I'm not the target audience because I'm not a history nut. And that's the big thing about it. If you love history and you love discovering the mysteries of history, this right here is got you covered. And I would still recommend it for people who want something weird, who want something outlandish, because it is. It's just that the history stuff I kind of found boring. And sometimes the narration doesn't take long enough to care for characters. And the world building took a little time to get used to. But beyond that, I did find myself enjoying the adventure kind of towards the latter half of the trilogy. Is it the best? No. Does it suck? Definitely not. It's just not my cup of tea overall. But there is some good to be found in here, and it's a solid series to check out if you're looking for something new. So with that being said, I will give The Contender a rating of... Check it out. Hi, I want to thank you guys all for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to check out these stories, I will link them down below. And hey, did you know I too am an author? That's right. If you like YA, paranormal, and adventure, I have you covered in Unborn Ghost. That's right, I will link that down below too if you are interested. And as always, if you want more of these reviews, I have plenty more in the playlist here. And other than that, I hope you all have a great day.